Hey guys, this is Animation Nation, which will be a weekend event, sort of a wrap-up toward everything going on inside the world of animation and that sort of thing. Today I just want to talk about a couple of big sort of things going on, starting with the LEGO universe, and then I want to jump into Illumination Entertainment. They announced a couple, actually 3 new movies going into their slate toward the end of the decade. Let's start off, though, with the bigger news, and of course what's going on right now, which is what Warner Animation is doing with the LEGO universe. Now, Warner, I think, should actually expand on other things. I like the fact that they're going into the LEGO universe and that we're seeing LEGO Batman, after this massive marketing campaign that started around this time last year, finally pay off. LEGO Batman is tracking for $60 million opening weekend. It didn't do that well last night. We saw that actually more people saw 50 Shades of Grey, which sucks, but it's opening for a $60 million weekend, which is great. And we also got the Lego Ninjago trailer, so I wanted to talk about, of course, the fact that this will be a massive universe. There's going to be a big universe going on in the future of Lego. And so, first off, I think Lego Batman is a great place to start. Lego Batman, of course, expands on the fact that this is a side character. They're going off, making this character prominent. It's smart. It's a strategy that will then take them forward even further. The way that they used this character, the way that they used the pop culture status of him, and all the lore around him is fantastic. You get the fact that the Joker and Batman dialogue is hilarious. You have all of these sort of Easter eggs to the past that are just fantastic. It's a fun watch. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be very fun, and I can't wait to actually check it out later on this weekend and give you guys a review in the future. But obviously, this is going to be a smash hit. Fantastic. It's going to be, hands down, a great film. But I'm looking more toward the Lego Ninjago movie, wondering how that's going to do. Because this may not be a solidified universe until we see the box office success of Lego Ninjago. Now, Lego Ninjago, of course, has been around longer than Lego Batman. It's had its standalone television series before the Lego movie, and people and viewers loved it. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and it becoming a movie makes a lot of sense, right? It's a brand that people know, that children know, so let's work on that. And I love the first trailer we get. Now, I don't get and understand... I understand the Taylor Swift music. It makes sense in some degree, but at many points it just seems really annoying and really odd of a music choice. I think that if they took some sort of more action-based music, it would have been enjoyable to a larger audience, but the bad blood didn't really mesh with Lego Ninjago. Overall, though, the family dynamic looks like it's going to be a funny portion of the movie. Looks like we're just going to have, of course, we have, I think, the voice actor, one of the voice actors plays a character in Silicon Valley, so that's going to be funny. And overall, of course, Lego sticks to this sort of crude, also just generally funny tone in an action movie, almost Dreamworks-ish, and that's a smart way to go, and I'm hyped for this movie. But Lego Ninjago will lead me to a bigger point here, and that is that Lego and Warner Brothers, in particular, I don't want Warner Brothers to go into the direction of making a long-term schedule of 5 or 7 Lego movies before they have writers or directors or any plans. That's my worry. We've seen them with the DC Cinematic Universe pitch us, oh, there's going to be a Batman movie, and there's going to be this movie, and that movie, and this movie, and obviously the Flash is having problems, Batman's having problems, even Wonder Woman's having problems, the Justice League is looking like the only solid movie that's going to happen, Aquaman looks like a solid movie, but other than that, it's a train that the tracks have not been fully completed, yet you're announcing what city is going to be in that destination before we even know what... We don't know the future, yet you're pitching it to us, and you haven't even written it down and set it up and all of that. I don't want that same strategy to happen to the Lego Cinematic Universe or just the Lego franchise in general. This is a solid franchise. It's doing great. What we're seeing right now is the strengthening of just 2 films going stronger than how the DC Cinematic Universe worked out. Man of Steel was not favored as much as the Lego Batman movie is. Batman vs. Superman and many movies of those nature, Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad, both of them obviously not fan favorites, but Lego, for the most part, is looking like it will continue this stride of being fun for the whole family while also having just a great and enjoyable story that's not stupid or doesn't lack in intelligence. So, you know, the Lego Cinematic Universe, something to watch out for, something to really sort of get your mind wrapped around, and is a little bit worrying because, of course, Lego has a lot to prove before they get any further, and I think really that we will see them become a bigger studio, but I think that Warner Brothers needs to envelop more of their properties, right? We know that Warner Brothers did Storks last year, and that was an okay movie. But let's go into let's try Space Jam again. Let's try just doing a Bugs Bunny movie, or let's try using our major characters from the past that people haven't seen for a while and see where that takes us. And I think that that's where they can really draw from outside of Lego, because I don't want a Star Wars strategy where it's, okay, well, here's episode 8, and then here's another thing, and I mean, I'm not excited for Han Solo, and I don't want Boba Fett. It's like movie after movie after movie. It's going to get exhausting at a certain point. I don't want them to fall into that same strategy, and then we have a point where it is just annoying and difficult to comprehend why at a certain point they're continuing. But right now, of course, we're not at that point. We're excited for Lego, and we're just 2 movies in, going to be 3 soon. So, the Lego Cinematic Universe, once again, very cool. Now, a couple things that they can easily go into with Lego, though, is one that you can easily think about is Harry Potter. Of course, Harry Potter, the Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them, didn't make a great box office draw. It didn't draw many people, or as many people as they wanted in the cinematic universe, and expand on it. They did a really good job, though, of giving us a character that is interesting and cool, but it didn't take us anywhere further than just saying, okay, here's Newt Scamander, and this is Harry Potter universe. I think that Lego could give us some really good, funny dialogue bits, and Harry Potter has so many Easter eggs in it that it could be just fun to go back and have Daniel Radcliffe voice Harry Potter and, do just a Lego Harry Potter movie. I think that's something that Warner Brothers wants to do. I think we would see that probably before 2020, and I think that it's smart. I also don't think they're going to do this, but I hope that they'll do Lego Bionicle. I think that would be a darker, even more darker than Ninjago movie. It would be, I think, a little more serious, darker tones, almost as, I think you could take it into the Transformers direction, where it's a little bit more gritty, but also enjoyable. So Lego Bionicle is something that, of course, isn't as popular now. It was popular when I was growing up. Really fun, really cool, really action-based. And another one is Lego Racers. This is a smaller thing as well. Not many people know about it, but I think that if they wanted to tap into the Cars sort of, if they wanted to attract to the same way that Cars did, I think they could easily say Lego Racers, merchandise. Have a couple of, have at McDonald's a couple of little carts you can build. That's it. Simple as that. I think that Lego Racers is another place that they could easily expand on, do something with that, make it fun, make it enjoyable, make it just another movie that could work. But so expanding the Lego universe is easy, but having that saturation point is always going to be there. As we know with Marvel, it's working out for them. People are still going to see Marvel movies, but you wonder how long that's going to last, and you wonder how long Lego will also last in terms of saturation. If kids will get tired of it, if parents will get annoyed from it. It just all depends on how these movies push out and if they're well written. But then again, it doesn't even matter if they're well written. That's the positive thing about it. Since it's a family for all movie, parents went to go see Ice Age, and that was awful. Ice Age, the 5th one or 6th, whichever. They went to go see that one, so, people watch what they want to watch, and that sort of thing. You can't stop family-friendly movies from bringing success as bad as they are. Except for Norm of the North. That was awful. Alrighty. Next up, let's talk about Illumination Entertainment. Illumination is fairly new. It came out only about a decade ago, but it's becoming the big, bombastic wonder that Universal now has. Illumination Entertainment has pushed out billion-dollar hits like Secret Life of Pets, Sing $1 billion? I want to make sure I'm right on that, but I'll get back to that in a second. But obviously, Minions, and they have the great Despicable Me franchise. We know that Despicable Me 3 is coming out later on this year, and just overall, you have this universe that is Illumination being a powerhouse. Illumination is a strong studio. They have a number of projects that they're currently working on, and of course, we know Despicable Me 3 is coming out in just a couple months. Despicable Me is probably their most loved out of anything that they've done so far, and so where do they move forward, right? That's the big question. Where do they move forward? How do they take themselves into a new step, into a new direction? And it doesn't seem like they're taking themselves in a new direction, but just using sequels to push themselves forward. As Pixar has been doing for the past few years now, we're seeing that Illumination is going to try to do the same thing, and that's smart. If there are franchises that bring you $1 billion, you should probably keep working on them. You should probably keep going in that direction. All right, let me give you guys the numbers again for what's going on here. Despicable Me, the original, made $513 million. Then you have Despicable Me 2 making almost $1 billion. Minions made $1 billion. Secret Life of Pets almost made $1 billion, and Sing made half a billion dollars. So you have these big box office successes. You want to obviously push in and make these sequels. There's no surprise here that Secret Life of Pets 2 is getting greenlit, or Minions 2, or Sing 2. Well, maybe Minions. People hated Minions, but they went to go see it. Hopefully, the one thing that we will see from Minions 2, particularly, is a good story. Because the Minions can be written well. I think there's a great way to do Minions. They just did a horrible job at them. And I thought we were going to get a little bit more backstory when we didn't. We just got a really stupid adventure that didn't leave us with anything to really grasp onto. Minions 2 hopefully will be better. Secret Life of Pets 2 doesn't really have to do too much. I think Secret Life of Pets was a cool movie. As many people will say, it's very similar to Toy Story, but it was still a fun, enjoyable movie to watch. It was something that I could sit back and enjoy. I remember being in theaters in summer, just taking in the fun, enjoying it, and saying, okay, this is what? If they're borrowing the story from Toy Story, which is now 20 years old, so I wouldn't really discount them for doing that. It's a 20-year-old movie. Not every kid has seen Toy Story. It's a smart move to try and borrow from it. But since they're borrowing from Pixar, obviously the storyline is a smart storyline. I think that if they just keep pushing forward, Secret Life of Pets 2 can easily have the success of Secret Life of Pets 1 and actually just expand on that. I think that all you need to do is keep on with the characters, have another adventure. If you want to go to a different world, you can, but I think they're obviously going to stick to Louis C.K. and then Kevin Hart and have this cast and then add another big voice actor. That's probably what they're going to go with. Sing as well, Matthew McConaughey voicing that, bring him back, see how everything's going. Sing 2 is one of those movies where it's like, you don't need a sequel. It was a cool movie. I wouldn't say it was even as good as Secret Life of Pets, but it was a heartwarming story. And I think that, going back to these characters is cool. It's interesting. It'll be fun. And, I mean, Illumination has, again, big, bombastic franchises that they can push forward. This is smart. This is brilliant. Sing 2, as much as it's like, okay, whatever, we'll bring them in revenue. And as long as these things keep bringing them in revenue, it's smart. Additionally, they're going into Dr. Seuss movies once more. I mean, they did the Lorax, of course, and now we have them going into How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We've seen a number of the Grinch Stole Christmas adaptations. I think that the way that they do Dr. Seuss is very adorable and very well done. I enjoy it, and I think that they do a really good job putting it into more movie format. So again, pushing in, keep making. They're continually making great films. They're continually making excellent box office success. I think that Illumination is the next big hit there, or the next big company to make hits like Pixar and like obviously Disney Animation is doing here. One thing that worries me is, and I'll talk about this next time, and I'll probably do a cartoon chat episode on this with a couple of other people involved, is Dreamworks Animation. Of course, they're also owned by Universal, but their movies are not pushing out and are not making as much revenue as Illumination is. Kung Fu Panda 3, of course, came out this time last year, actually January 29th, $521 million on $145 million budget. Of course, Illumination makes lower budget movies, and they get more profit. So you have this issue where the big, iconic DreamWorks is not making the revenue back on their big budget films. And now we're at a point where they're not sticking to the franchise that we know. They're going and they're making new ones because it's just been so long. I'm going too far here, but you guys will hear a little bit more in the future about this. I'm going to talk about this probably next episode or again, cartoon chat. But DreamWorks really worries me in that they missed a boat to really do the same thing that Sing is doing. I mean, not Sing, Illumination is doing, which is continuing to push on franchises. That's why they were doing so well in the early 2010s, is that they were pushing on old franchises, trying to get new ones. Pushing old franchises and then trying to bring in new ones. Puss in Boots, and then Penguins, and then just going back, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Kung Fu Panda 2. You know, movies like that were pushing on spin-offs while also having original franchises and then going forward. Smart move. But, you know, I think this will wrap it up, guys, for the first episode. I just wanted to try out how this is. I want to try out how overall this is going to work. I wanted to find out how live streaming works with a style of doing sort of animation news and updates. So guys, what did you think? Tell me in the comments below. And this is the first episode, so I might say or what or things like that a lot. But thanks for watching. I'm Brian Swan. Stay tuned for more.